Good afternoon. We are from group 3. We contain me, Reza, Niti, Ali, and Franz. Our group will talk about case of Railtrack with the perspective from bank and financial institution. Our group will divide our presentation into 2 parts. The first part will talk about the strength and weakness of the Railtrack, and another part we're going to talk about how bank or financial institution can examine the Railtrack. Our group will also establish the boundary about the corporate sustainability. About corporate citizenship and sustainability. Does anyone here know already about the corporate citizenship? Previous article has been taken to define what's the meaning of the corporate citizenship. As we can see from the screen that in 2005, Martin and Crane has already researched about the corporate citizenship, that corporate citizenship could be translated as CSR, or corporate social responsibility. It means that corporate social responsibility is a voluntary consideration of a firm to its stakeholders' concerns. Then we can also see from the screen that sustainability here as a basic consideration of future impact of present decision or action that has been taken by the company. Therefore, corporate citizenship and sustainability is the voluntary responsibility of corporation to assess the future impact of the company present decision or action in order to minimize the risks for its stakeholders. The next slide show we're gonna talk about the strength and weakness of the Railtrack will be presented by Ellie.
I'll be presenting on the strengths and weaknesses of Railtrack. First of all, Railtrack had support from the government. That is, they were able to secure loans from the banks and financial institutions. At the time of privatization, the UK government provided an agreement with the bankers that their facilities would be secured if they provided facilities to Railtrack. This agreement was both beneficial to the banks and the financial institutions. Also, the support from the government gave security to shareholders. That is, shareholders were more comfortable to invest their money into Railtrack because they believed that there was hidden value in the company and that the government will always back it up as a safe investment. Secondly, Railtrack continued to increase dividends of its shareholders, thereby providing them value for money. I'll move on to the weaknesses of Railtrack. Railtrack basically focused on its short-term goal, that is profitability, over its long-term goals. They therefore reduced staff members, used outdated technology, reduced infrastructure maintenance. This led to the continuous accidents as well as poor quality of service delivery. Also, majority of its revenue was fixed by the regulator, and this revenue was not performance-induced, so they weren't motivated to deliver, rather they focused on profitability. Lastly, Railtrack's financial advisors were with the misconception that if they engaged in activities that affected their earnings, then it would trigger a reaction from the bankers to call on the loans for repayment. Hence, their focus on profitability. My colleague here will continue.
Okay, so let's go to the financial insight and the bank itself. So as we can see in this screen, these are some of the financial institutions that were involved to give the £2.35 billion loan to Railtrack. We can see there is Barclays, RBS, HSBC, European Investment Bank. Okay, so what is the concern or the interest of a bank? Well, it's basically our concern as bank is to know that our money is safe. It means that it will be returned, it will be paid on time. So By that, we can say that bank has a high interest to see that Railtrack is liquid and solvent. As the 2.35 billion loan is a long-term one, therefore, bank will have a high interest on how Railtrack grow their value, which means that bank will need to know that how Railtrack build their reputation to the public and how Railtrack will generate more income, which eventually will bring more profits. Okay, let's have a look on the financial summary. As we can see there, the turnover from 1996 to 2001 is slightly fluctuating. It's not much. We can also see that their profit before tax is the same. And if we take the percentage, then the profit before tax will be, we can say, a medium one. It is around 15%. And we can also see that their net debt is increasing massively. So let's focus on the year of 2000 and 2001. As you can see that their net debt is almost twice of their turnover, and they also create a loss. So I'm sure that you have something in mind. What does it tell you? Okay, then let's go to the big financial question. How could Railtrack pay their loan when the average of their profit before tax was only 385 million, while on the other hand, they have their average debt of 1,085 million? Well, for us, it is impossible. And it means that Railtrack is in high risk. So, what's happened next? Railtrack was collapsed in 2001 as a result of two major things, which are massive debts and losses, and because they lost the public trust and confidence because of the poor quality of service and accident that were happened. And then we can ask again, so what about the loan? Who's going to pay it? According to our previous research, the loan were transferred to a successor body because UK bank cannot just simply write it off. Now we can move to the conclusion, which will be presented by Niti.
Okay, thank you, Franz. For the conclusion, Railtrack's management failed to fulfill their corporate citizenship and sustainability to the bank as one of their definitive and institutional stakeholder. They focus mainly on short-term profits, and at the end of the day, it jeopardized the company's long-term value. Based on our conclusion, here is our recommendation. Public service companies such as Railtrack should focus more on public interest rather than special interest group. The company was heavily looking for profit maximization, and it seems to work well as they had gained massive attention from shareholders. But they, on the other hand, the company was actually losing customer satisfaction and public interest. The bank should also more actively monitor company performance. Sometimes it's hard to believe that such company, substantially supported by the government, would collapse someday. And also the bank should assess using the internal rating base and standardized approach based on external urgency to forecast loss given default. By using this method, the bank can calculate the potential losses, which is very critical for essential for the essential for the essential capital, they can manage or they can make an allocation for their capital, and also is really important for pricing the credit risk of debt instruments. Okay, and these are our references. Okay, thank you for listening.